Blackkklansman. Now, Blackkklansman was released over the weekend, and it's directed by Spike Lee, and it stars John David Washington, son of Denzel Washington, in case you didn't know. It also stars Adam Driver, you know, the guy that plays Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movies. It also stars Laura Harrier, Michael Buscemi, which I didn't know Steve Buscemi had a brother. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. And Alec Baldwin. Now, the story of this movie is just insane. It's crazy. I can't believe this is a true story. Ron Stallworth is a black rookie cop living in Colorado Springs in the 1970s, where there is a huge KKK community, and there's also a big Black Panther community as well. I'm about to go watch Blackkklansman. I'm very excited. I'm a fan of Spike Lee. I'm a fan of his work, but I'm kind of hungry. I'm a little hungry right now. Let's get something to eat first. Blackkklansman is directed by Spike Lee. I'm actually a fan of Spike Lee's movies, from Do the Right Thing to Inside Man with Denzel Washington. I've always liked his films, or as I should say, his joints, because every movie is known as a Spike Lee joint. Just pulled up to the movie theater, about to see Blackkklansman. Been hearing some pretty good reviews on it, so I can't wait to tell you how I felt about this movie. Let's go check it out. And I'm back. Just got back from the theater from seeing Blackkklansman. Great film. I really enjoyed it. This was another great film from Spike Lee. I really enjoyed this one a lot. Man, I'm literally just came out. I'm still in the parking lot right here. But yeah, man, definitely go see this. I recommend it a lot. The story, the performances, the humor. I was very surprised on how much humor there is in this movie. There was a lot of humor, and I'm really glad that the filmmakers found a way to balance the humor with the drama. I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite Spike Lee movies, definitely. The last 4 minutes of Blackkklansman was all Spike Lee. I'm not gonna go too far into spoiler territory, but the last 3 to 4 minutes was all Spike Lee, and that was just a gem to watch. From the performances, from the music, I really like Spike Lee's direction in this movie. I would like to see John David Washington in more films. I think he was fantastic in this role. There were some parts in the movie where I actually heard a little bit of Denzel in John David Washington. I was like, ah, you were your father's son, for sure. And I thought Topher Grace was actually really good as well. He played a total scumbag. He plays David Duke, and I think he played it really well. Like, I was so convinced that Topher Grace was just this real big asshole. Now, the movie is very stylistic. Of course, it's a Spike Lee joint. There's gonna be some really cool and experimental camera angles and lighting and use of music. There's a certain hallway tractor shot that he does with the actors, and yeah, that's definitely all Spike Lee. I really enjoy it when Spike Lee does those camera tricks. My only issue with this movie is that the movie is about 2 hours and 20 something minutes long, and I definitely felt it. There was a time in the movie where I felt like it just kind of dragged a little bit. Felt like this movie could have been just about 15 minutes shorter. And there was another thing that bothered me too, and I wasn't sure if the rest of the theater noticed this, but I kind of noticed it, is there was something going on in the editing. There was, you know, milliseconds and half a seconds of shots that just were kind of out of sequence, and I saw that numerous times throughout the movie. I wasn't sure if Spike Lee noticed this in the editing room, or maybe he just kind of did this intentionally. I'm not sure, but I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest. That's just a technical part. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Like, I loved it. I'm gonna give this a 4.75 out of 5. When you go see this movie, be advised of what kind of movie you're gonna be into. Yeah, it's a drama with a lot of comedy in it. However, it's gonna be very politically driven. There's plenty social commentary going on with this film. A lot of the events that happen in the movie is a reflection on what's going on today. Now, I don't need to give anybody a history lesson or anything, but we all know the origins of hatred and racism and bigotry. We all know the origins of all that. In this specific film, it takes place in Colorado Springs during the 1970s, where there is like a certain race war going on between blacks and whites. If you watch the news, if you're on Twitter, if you're on any kind of social media platform, then you might come across a few articles where some of the shit that's going on today happened back then as well, and that just sucks. So Blackkklansman, definitely go see it. I recommend it for everybody. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, I don't care if you're white, if you're black, I don't care if you're Latino, Asian, whatever it is. I think this is a really good movie. It's a powerful movie. If you take away all the political agenda that this movie has to offer, you're still going to be left with a very entertaining film.